This is a HeadGum podcast.
Winning season returns at my bookie. You know, you might be in the northern hemisphere and it's summer turning into fall. You might be in the southern hemisphere and it's winter right now, about to turn into spring. Wherever you are on this pale blue dot on which we live, it's winning season, and winning season means doubling your first deposit. Take that initial deposit and multiply it by 2. Winning season means insane props, epic bonuses, and the craziest cross-sport wagers. Imagine betting on baseball and basketball at once. My head is spinning. At MyBookie, winning season means watching live sports and betting live sports all season long. Rejoice! The NFL has returned. That means action-packed Sundays and huge cash prizes. My Sundays are already action-packed. Worshipping Almighty God. Going to church. Any huge cash prizes I got, going right in the donation bin. Get in on the action. Use promo code Doughboys and double your first deposit. New players get up to $1,000 in free play, designed to add more excitement to the sports you love and the games you bet. Bet with the best this NFL season, your chance to win big. Use promo code Doughboys and double your first deposit. Your winning season begins today, only at MyBookie. A disease that purportedly originated on the other side of the globe ravaged North America, sickening Americans across numerous states, 40% of whom would require hospitalization. The year was 2015, and the disease was E. coli. And the suspected flashpoint? A fast casual Mexican restaurant that built its brand on fresh ingredients and meals assembled to order. While no deaths were linked to the outbreak, which the chain attributed to Australian beef, though independent investigations were less conclusive, the foodborne illness delivered a devastating blow to the chain that famously reminds you that guac is extra. And that wasn't the end of it, as the widely publicized E. coli scare was followed by additional outbreaks. Norovirus later in 2015 and again in 2017, a bacterial infection that sickened 368 customers of a franchise near Columbus, Ohio in 2018, as well as a different sort of virus, a 2017 data breach that plagued locations in 47 states. According to its financial reports, the restaurant's revenue dipped 36% after the initial E. coli scare, and with its other setbacks, it would take 3 full years for the chain's sales to return to pre-coli levels. But the eatery has soldiered on, and that it endures suggests it will be a fixture of the American chain restaurant industry for decades to come. Foodborne illness be damned. In fact, while Yum Brand's Taco Bell remains the sector kingpin, the E. coli survivor's nearly 2,500 locations placed it second among Mexican-American restaurants, ahead of stalwarts like Qdoba, Moe's, and Del Taco. But where does this Colorado-founded chain named for a smoked jalapeno go from here? And how do its burritos, bowls, and oft-forgotten tacos fare 5 years removed from its public health/public relations crisis? This week on Doughboys, we return, once again, to Chipotle Mexican Grill. Welcome to Doughboys, the podcast about chain restaurants. I'm Nick Wiger, along with my co-host, head big with an angry inch, the Spoonman, Mike Mitchell.
Head grid in the angry inch, is that what it is?
The head wig and the angry
head
inch
wig
is the real thing. This is
what the fuck? What is that about? What is that?
He's
what is
saying
that movie
head
about?
big with an angry inch. It's a guy who's got I think he's got a mangled small dick, and then
is that
he does
true?
a musical about it. Yeah, that's what the angry inch is.
Oh
I
man, I got an
even
angry
knew
inch.
that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and people love it. It's like a cult thing. I mean, it's supposed to be good. I've never seen it. Adam from Chicago sent that one in.
What do you mean? I don't think I even knew that. This is a strange thing.
No, I
why
just
would
feel
you?
like-
Why would you know that?
I feel like I've heard that movie title so many times. I assumed I would know the plot to it for some reason, and I had zero clue.
No, yeah, that was very. That's an angry inch, huh?
Angry inch. roastSpoonman@gmail.com if you have an insult you'd like me to use on Mitch at the top of the show.
Shouldn't they just said it like I have that? Shouldn't it have just been me? I have the. Just
Well, I
saying,
think that's what he's saying.
All right,
He
then
said-
fuck that
Yeah,
guy.
big
Fuck him.
head
He's
and
a fuck.
angry inch.
Yeah, here's what it was: head big with an angry inch. He's clearly
Got it.
saying that you're the guy with a big head who has an angry inch,
Got it.
i.e. your dick.
Big head, small dick. That's what
Yeah.
he was trying to say.
Yeah, that's what he's
saying. He should have boiled it down to that. Nick, I woke up last night. I was being bit by a spider right around my elbow.
What?
Oh my God!
Yeah, spider bite. You
You
know?
have to move now.
Do you know what type of spider?
Black Widow.
Jesus Christ. Should go to urgent care.
I was torn about the whole thing because, on the one hand, there's Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's cool.
On the other hand, you got arachnophobia.
Yeah, those are kind of the two, the two ends that the spider pendulum swings to. Either you've got the killer spiders, or you get to be a superhero powered by spiders. So it's one or the other. That's the coin flip.
Instead, I just got a big bump and it itches. What have I tried? What, Nick?
I was just gonna say, have you tried sticking to walls or anything?
No, not yet. My fingers are sticky, of course. I'm kind of sticking.
Is that wing related or jacking off related? It could be either or.
It depends on the hand.
Your hand in a jar of honey, or what happened exactly?
It depends on which hand it is. One hand's in the Johnny, one hand's in the honey, and the other hand is on the angry inch. Nick?
Yeah.
I got a drop for you.
Yeah, go
Are you
for
ready
it.
for this one? I think this one is going to be amazing.
Oh, I'm very excited.
Okay, you ready? Here it comes.
Shot through the heart, and you're too late, darling. You give love.
Bug mane.
Hi, everybody.
Will I eat your asshole? No, baby, that's not what I like, baby.
I'm not a predator.
What did you think, Nick?
I can't see my monitor because that thing made my head spin. What a drop.
Yeah, it was a great drop.
What a fantastic drop.
You know who that drop came from today?
I think I do know it. Actually, I think it came from At a Minute of MIDI. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're right. That drop was from At a Minute of MIDI, who says, "Hi, Spoonman. Hope you're well. I've been wasting my time in quarantine re-listening to all of Doughboys from the beginning. It was inspired to finally make my first drop. An homage to the early drops. Please come back to Bezizio." No, I'm going to pass on that. Sorry. Much love, At a Minute of MIDI. Thank you, At a Minute of MIDI. Wow, that's really nice, isn't it?
Wow. Excellent. Quality work from our listeners, as always. And hey, if you have a drop you'd like Mitch to play on the show, the email address is, give it to him, Mitch.
The email address is spoonmandrops@gmail.com. Nick, why don't you give it to him, too?
Yeah, the email address is spoonmandrops@gmail.com. And hey, Mitch, we should introduce our guests.
We certainly should, Nick. It's been too long.
It's been too long. It's been an awkward 5 minutes of waiting for them.
It's always too long. We talk for
It's always too long. But our guest star in the new series Brews Brothers, which also features our own Mike Mitchell, and is now streaming on Netflix. Alan Eisenberg and Mike Castle are here. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Thank
Thanks for
you
being
guys,
here, guys,
for making time for us during all this madness.
Yeah.
How are both of you holding up right now?
I'm in New York, alone in my apartment, going a little crazy. But happy to, be here and not in a hospital. Good start,
what
right?
level? It's very true. It's a huge plus. You are also I feel for you, Alan, because New York does seem kind of scary right now. So I hope you're doing well over there. It seems terrifying. I mean, it's certainly scary everywhere, but
yeah, but there's something about empty New York that seems especially menacing.
It's very I Am Legend.
Yes.
It's kind of weird, yeah.
It's like a go-to dystopian setting.
Yeah.
Micah, everything's good in the Castle.
Oh yeah, everything's great in the Castle for sure.
Wait, did you guys have you met before, or does Nick just have this rapport with you right off the bat?
I think we just have it right off the bat. We interacted one time at what was that pop-up? The burger. What was that?
That's right.
What the fuck was that thing?
Mitch, you were there too, right? This
yeah,
was
you guys and maybe Paul Scheer.
This was Saved by the Max. This was
That's
the
the one,
Saved
yeah.
by the Bell
Oh,
themed
yeah.
pop-up where they recreated the Max Diner. They now use that space. The last I saw it, they had changed that space into a Breaking Bad pop-up, which seems pretty past its sell-by date. I feel like you should be do the Better Call Saul pop-up if you're going to be doing something now, but maybe they didn't have the rights to it.
There's another issue with the Breaking Bad pop-up is who wants to eat at the, where do you want to eat at the, the
Pollo Loco.
The Pollo Locos, Hermanos or whatever.
Yeah, Los Pollos Hermanos.
Oh, right.
Which also, I gotta make a, I mean, like, do you want to eat at the place that's, like, owned by, like, the drug kingpin guy?
Right.
I would.
Is it going to be that great?
I would. I'd want to try it.
I would actually sooner like to do my laundry at a laundromat that is a pop-up of the place where they make the meth in Breaking Bad. You know what I mean? It's like high industrial machines and everything, and they're like, and it's okay.
I think if you're running a business as a front, it's gonna be really good because you don't want like the health department coming through or stuff like that. So it's gonna be very, good quality food, or they'll clean your laundry quickly. I don't know.
And I feel like that's a thing, like, and certainly it's a New York thing, but like I think there's a little bit of the like, this place is mobbed up. There's that, it's got a little panache when you're like you're like an Italian restaurant.
Hold on a
and
second.
like, the mob owns this spot.
People like that? That's a thing
People
that people
love it.
enjoy.
People
A little
think
bit,
it's
yeah.
cool.
Hey, you
There's
pay
it's
extra
almost
for
a
that.
kitsch value to it. Like if you see a guy in a leather jacket casually walking behind a cash register, you're like, okay,
Yeah, a front is good. Like just like it's good marketing. It's good marketing to be a front. People want.
I don't like that.
I think it's where the action is.
If I order pizza and then a horse head comes on my pizza,
You did something wrong.
I did something wrong.
I don't think that's. Again, I think the front would try to be inconspicuous.
Exactly.
They're not going to do something like that.
And so then if they do something like that, it's kind of like a special occasion, and it's basically as special as anything else. You know what I mean? You go like, they don't normally go this aggressive.
But it's also a level of like brazen confidence to just
Right.
feel so good about the fact that you are doing things not by the books, that you're sending a head with your pizza.
Nick, would you try the horse head pizza?
Yeah, I think so.
You
I
take
mean,
a
it's
bite
already
of
been
it?
prepared. My whole thing is, once the cost is sunk, once it's like, well, this thing's been prepared and it's going to go to waste otherwise. If someone says this, if it's just there as like a fuck you, then I'm not going to eat it. But if it's like, hey, this is like a thing we've prepared, I was like, sure, I'll try this. Why not?
It would be
what else is going to happen? They're gonna throw it in the
absolutely
dumpster?
insane if it was there as a fuck you and you did eat it. That would be the most psychotic behavior where you see it and you're like, nah. He fucking,
That's
That's
an
what
alpha
happens in
move.
The Godfather, right? Doesn't he eat the...
he wakes
sits
up in the bed and he
has
fucking
breakfast?
starts chowing down on that thing. One of the most confusing and scary moments in cinema.
Nick and I were talking about. I had The Godfather on, not for the first time. I was putting it on as background noise. Did we talk about this on the podcast, Nick? We did, didn't we?
Yeah, we talked about we talked about it. Fuck, I don't know. I don't remember if we did or not. It might have been on
Sonny's-
a double. We can certainly recap it.
In The Godfather, there's a scene where a woman is holding up her hands, and it's because Sonny has like a really big penis, and so Nick and I were kind of going down we kind of went down that rabbit hole a little bit, and then in the book, we talked about this on the podcast.
We talked about this a little bit.
What rabbit hole is that? What is that?
So basically, here's what's going on, and this actually, I'm realizing this is on an episode that's yet to come out. So this is
Oh wow!
this is both a tease and a callback.
Yeah.
But
Possibly also a spoiler.
possibly also a spoiler. So
A pre-call.
This is a pre-call. What happens is that Sonny in the book, there's like a large, he has a famously big penis, and everyone knows about it, but it's too big for his wife. So he finds a mistress he can sleep with who has a large vagina. This is in the book, that she has a big vagina that can accommodate his massive hog, and they like fall in love and have a lengthy affair. And then after he gets shot and killed, then she like goes to have a reconstructive procedure to her vagina. Again, this is all in the book. This is all Mario Puzo's insane ranting.
This is like 50 pages in the book. She goes to Vegas.
Yeah, she goes to Vegas, and a plastic surgeon makes her vagina tighter after it's been just fucking cored out by Sonny's fucking massive power tool.
And then the doctor makes it too small, and he says, I apologize, this is the only person you can sleep with now, and he hands her a piece of paper, and my name's on the piece of paper.
Why is this not in the movie?
It's just your angry inch.
And then I was, because I kind of stumbled upon all this stuff, and I told Nick, I don't know if you knew about this previously, but I messaged
No, I
you all
didn't.
about this.
I learned this from you.
And her son is Andy Garcia in Godfather 3. So we talk about this all again in another episode.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's worth it to talk about it.
It's very strange. It's also, do you think that's part of why, Don Corleone is so sad when Sonny's killed? And he's like, they massacred my boy.
He's talking.
It was a waste of that massive hog.
Yeah, but was he talking specifically about like the dick? Was the dick riddled with bullet holes?
They unloaded
His
an
first
entire
question was-
Tommy gun into his fucking schlong. I want to ask you guys. You are the
That
Brews
thing's
brothers.
it's gonna be leaking, Dick. If you try to if you try to suck that thing off, there's gonna be cum shooting out of the.
It's gonna be
Oh
like
yeah, a cartoonish amount of cum going in out of all the holes.
classic Looney Tunes gag.
And also what Mario Puzo always intended.
They do like it. I heard that like he is bad with like I hear that he's pretty bad writing female anatomy. Who would have
That's
thought?
not surprising to
No.
me.
Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Oh, I want to ask you guys about so the Brews Brothers, the show, BrewDog affiliated, ice cold beer is the subject. Are you guys beer drinkers IRL? Do you guys like to sip on a cold one?
I love to sip on a cold one. In fact, the other night when we were texting a little bit and I insisted we play chess, I had sipped on cold ones, which I don't do to excess very much, and
Yes.
I did to excess, and I was like, it was too much. I woke up the next morning, I was like, oh yeah, beer can really get you very drunk.
Yeah, you really can get fucked up from BrewDogs. Yeah, you challenged me to a text to a chess match via text.
Yep.
And then we were playing chess on an app, and then at some point you just left.
Yeah,
And I
that's
guess that's when you like passed out.
I think no, it's that I don't usually play on that app as much, so I just
okay.
like forgot about it, and then at some point, then it was that point where I remembered it, but was drunk and was like, nah, just lose.
Alan, do you indulge in that ice cold beverage we all know and love called beer?
I used to, yeah. I
You
loved
used to,
it.
okay.
And then 48 hours before I got the show, I got diagnosed with celiacs. So,
Oh my God!
yeah, I used to partake and really enjoy in the partaking of the BrewDog. And then a doctor told me if I kept doing that, I would die. So, that really took
Wow,
the fun out of
Jesus.
it for me. Yeah.
I had no idea celiacs was that severe. I thought it was just like an intolerance. I didn't realize it was something that could actually be lethal.
Yeah, this is a medical podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We like to dig into our guest diagnoses. No, sorry, you don't have to go into any depth.
No, I don't care.
In the way that Nick and I's bodies will be studied after we're dead, I think it is.
Yeah, you fuck up your GI, the whole track every time you eat or drink something with wheat in it, and so you're slowly chipping away at it and doing damage. And I didn't want to do that because I don't know what's inside there, but I want to leave it as is.
Right. So do you still drink though?
I do. I've become a tequila man, which you cannot drink in the same quantities as beer, I have learned.
No.
But it's taking time. And then there's a beer called Glutenberg, which is a celiac, gluten-free beer that's really good. And Castle and I were doing an interview on Thursday, which might have been the night that you guys were playing chess, and I had like 3 or 4 of those before, during, and after the interview, and I felt real good.
It was that framboise I had. That's what put me over the edge. It like made me. I was drunk.
I mean, that's the cool thing about being on a show about beer is that like a lot of the interviews we've done, they're like actively encouraging it, like have a drink,
Right.
it'll be fun. But like it's work for 20 minutes, and then you just keep drinking, and the
well,
justification
yeah.
is gone.
Right after that interview ended, we then all like with 2 producers and one of the writers, like Marcus Ray and Carmen, we like then all FaceTimed, and then all of us were just clearly just drunk. And we were like, the interview was fun. We had a good time, and it was a
I
real
said the
sloppy
word
night.
tattoo. How did I tattoo? I said something really weird.
Tattoo, I think. And I was
was
like, that
fucked
old
up.
band, those 2 girls, that was Tattoo.
Oh yeah, I remember that band.
That was a weird, horny period in
Yes,
pop
yeah.
culture.
Every music video had
tattoo.
women in like tank tops under like water was dumping on them. I feel like there were a lot of that style of music video at that time, and Tattoo is at like the height of it.
And the most scandalous thing imaginable was like two women kissing.
Yeah, right.
Like which is a real feels like that's aged real. It's just a very different culture than it was then. But back then it's like, oh, two women kiss.
It was like the
Tattoo,
craziest.
These girls kiss. This is crazy.
I remember people in my neighborhood were all like, they can't really be dating. I was like, why not? What?
No fucking way, man. That's
it's
insane.
a band. It's for the band.
They're sisters.
I feel like when we look back on that time period, it will be considered like we were the douchiest. I mean, who knows? Maybe we can get douchier than we were then. But
I hope so.
Wasn't late 90s into the 2000s, weren't we kind of a douchey? We were kind of douchey. We're kind of a douchey. I mean, we still are in many ways, but
yeah, I mean, that was like, it was a pretty obnoxious culture. New metal was kind of at its apex. I feel like new metal is like a very, and I'm something of a new metal apologist, but it is a very douchey genre of music, and a lot of those guys and their fans are pretty douchey. It's just the nature.
There was
of
also
it.
like a weird wealth thing. I feel like people were really coming into spending to bizarre excess and like amassing massive debts and shit. That I feel like just created this like weird burning itself alive culture. But I also feel like we're all exempt from the culture of the 90s since we were mainly victims of it and less so participants.
it's true.
Yeah, wealth flaunting is kind of, now there's like a stigma on flaunting wealth.
Yeah.
Unless you want to just be an asshole. Unless your whole thing is like, yeah, I'm rich. What do you want to do about it? Unless you just want to go like for that demo. A lot of times people like try to hide how wealthy they are. It's very
it's
different.
like the rich like altruism now, where it's like, yeah, it's Tesla, but it's good for the earth. You know, like everything. It's
Right,
like it's expensive, but I'm actually I'm a better person than you.
But I love the guys who are like still, like yesterday I was walking in the city and saw a dude, Lambo convertible, revving, doing the whole thing, but wearing a mask. And there was no one around to hear his revving. So like he has this, that is just like the greatest bit.
That's a living painting. That's an unbelievable image to imagine.
It's so empty. You could probably hear that in all the boroughs. I'm sure of it probably echoed throughout the city.
In all 5 boroughs: Manhattan, Staten Island, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Queens.
Wow. Dude.
He listens to the Beastie Boys.
He's definitely reading that off a notes app. Nick, be honest.
Always open,
just the New York Wikipedia
just
page.
in case.
William
And they have
DeBlasio.
Tribeca and
A pizza slice, you got to fold in half.
forget about it.
Forget about it. What are your guys' favorite?
I feel bad for Pizza Rat during these times.
Boy, trying times for Pizza Rat. You know, I mean, I think a lot of animals who scavenge off of humans. They are like that's been a whole thing where like they're like they can't find food. You know, like they're used to like the seagulls and deer and stuff. Who usually eat people's trash. It's just not around anymore.
It's gotta be a
Nick,
wild time to be a seagull right now.
It's gotta be very
even
strange.
imagine.
Nick, be honest with me. Do you think Pizza Rat's still alive?
Yeah, Mitch. Yeah, Pizza Rat's alive. Yeah, he's doing great.
He went and lived on a farm?
Yeah, that's right, Mitch.
I hope that he's an old rat now telling stories of how he took a pizza down the subway one day. That would be nice.
He definitely is.
Yeah.
They're all like, "What's pizza?"
Alan, have you ever ran into Pizza Rat in New York?
Yeah, he was in the waiting room when I got diagnosed with celiac. The doctor was telling me,
God.
you can't do this anymore, man.
He's like, "You gotta
Pizza Rat has celiac?
You gotta go to a farm. You gotta go work on a farm and live out your days."
Pizza Rat has celiac.
It was tough because not only does he have celiac, he also is lactose intolerant. So that's another double whammy. And then also, he has an allergy to fucking tomato sauce.
Oh my God.
It's a
So was
trifecta.
Pizza Rat on a bender? Like, did he know this all before? And like, this was his night out where he's like, "Fuck it, I'm doing it."
Basically trying to die.
Yeah.
You know what else?
Heavy.
You know what else I heard, Nick? I heard Pizza Rat has Sonny Corleone disease.
That's no tail dragging behind him.
Oh my god.
What do you guys like to eat when you're drinking a beer? What's your favorite beer adjacent or even just a generally alcohol adjacent snack?
When I go to beer, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I can kick things off. I'll say I like very salty foods, like a big plate of nachos.
Yeah.
Is a real treat. That's a lot of fun. Obviously, pretzels are classic. I'm not much of a pretzel man, but I'll indulge in some pretzels.
What about a warm pretzel, Nick? Like a warm dippable
Oh, a
pretzel?
soft pretzel's great, man. You're at a ball game. You got yourself a soft pretzel in one hand, a brew dog in the other hand. Boy, there's nothing like it.
The saltiest French fries in the world with a beer is kind of the most perfect combo.
Ooh, that is delightful.
75 degrees out, way too much salt on a French fry, and just a shit ton of ketchup. That is how I would like to go.
Wow.
I would go with, and this is regrettably annoying, but I would probably go with sushi.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think of different Japanese beers I love. And there's one place I'm picturing in Tokyo that is the coolest place to sit and drink a beer. And there's something about the beer and then sushi or ramen where I could just drink 1,000 beers and feel comfortable and not drunk or full or I don't know.
I will say that's actually an unexpected but a very reasonable take, because when I think of being stationed at a sushi bar and having a bunch of sushi and having myself a beer, that's a lot of fun. That is a real hoot.
To both of you, that sucks.
No,
It's a good take. This is a fine take.
Come on, Mitch, you're just
What are you
pissed off
doing?
that we're bonding. It's very clear to me through this whole thing that you're worried about losing me.
You know
You're
what?
not going to lose me. You're not going to lose me.
I have faith in Nick never making attempt to talk to anyone here, including me, ever again.
That's smart.
If there wasn't for the podcast, I wouldn't hear from Nick for 2 years, most likely.
True. Yes.
One of my
Sushi-
favorite things to do is to completely forgive people for not being communicative. I expect to always be let off the hook for not communicating. I think among my group of friends, I am the most unlikely to respond to a text message. But I think my core group of friends, they have given me that. They don't even hold it against me anymore. I
Right.
don't think.
But why do you want to be that guy? I'm the other side of it. So
Because I never want to have. I hate feeling beholden to my phone, and so
Sure. But that's different. If someone makes an effort to reach out to you, it's my biggest pet peeve in the world, people who don't respond to text. And when you don't respond to my text, I go into a tailspin. But why do you take pride in being that guy or being let off the hook?
I don't know. I don't know that I would necessarily say I take pride in it. It feels extremely
You're
unavoidable
smirking. You
to
are
me.
smiling like a...
Yeah, well, no, I was
Yeah,
just
he
thinking.
loves it.
I actually am happy that we're fighting right now. But I don't know. It's not so much the pride. It's that. Can I give you a little history about myself?
Please.
When I was growing up, I was obsessed with technology from the first moment I got my hand on a phone, I was fucking all in, T9 every day, texting fucking robot chat things. The second I got AIM, I was just all over that shit all the time. And I think that for a super long time growing up, that was the only way I communicated with anybody. And so it was all day, every day, I was AIMing fucking on my phone, texting anyone whose number I had. And then as phones are more and more popular, I'm a beast at it. I'm I could type for fucking days. I can text and AIM and all that shit. That now I'm at this point where I'm I have all my close friends. I'm married. I just don't I don't want to do it. I don't want to think about my phone. I don't want to think about responding thoroughly. I just want to go hey, if you really need to talk, call me or something. But I just can't. I can't do it.
This is
Do you
utter
like
horseshit. This is all a lie. Castle, you and I have spent a lot of time together. If
But
you were to
now you're gonna call out the chess thing. But I'm
yes.
But the
If you were to
texts
die
interrupt
tomorrow-
that. The texts interrupt that. I get joy from playing 2,000 games a day, but I don't get joy from responding to text messages.
I do agree with you in that it is really annoying that because of emails and texts, you can just always...
You can always be reached.
Everyone
Yes.
is always on call, always. I don't like to talk on the phone. I don't like to text. I don't like any of that stuff, which maybe just means
you
I
don't like to. Come on, you don't like to text.
No, I don't. I don't really like to text. No.
You're texting constantly.
I would say someone
Because
would,
I have to
would say that
respond to people.
I am texting constantly as well, but I feel
Oh,
like
got it, okay.
It's so much all the time. There are so many people. I feel like if I scroll through my phone, I can find so many things. I'm like, oh, I guess I should have said okay to that, or like, whatever. There's just so many goddamn things to respond to.
I'm with you, Nick. You're right. When it is a group of friends and we're talking about stuff, if we start a text thread about how much texting sucks, I would love to text about that.
That's true. You
But-
don't
but
like to
just-
have, you don't like to have to reply into like normal communications. But if it's just like, hey, I'm just gonna shoot the shit, you like that.
Yeah,
They're
or, yeah,
di- they're
or,
different
or
energies.
like I'll do like I'll do a bit. I literally have a friend where we did just a continuous bit for like 4 months, and I specifically called him before we started, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna start a bit with you tomorrow where we're just gonna be two different characters, and then let's just not break that for a couple months. And it was like we changed characters all throughout. All these different people kept getting the phones. That I can commit to. I will literally wake up and be like, oh, I gotta say I'm doing this now for that. But if it's like real stuff, I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I don't know.
So, Alan, you've now figured out the solution.
I have to do
You
bits with Castle,
gotta
You gotta
text.
do bits, or you gotta play chess, my man.
but not
You gotta
text you
you-
and see if you'll be like a blood donor. That you won't respond
I will
to.
not respond to that. I don't want to have to think about that.
Great.
You got to text him as Dr. Fuzzy Bottom or something and say that,
Exactly.
and ask him if he'll do a blood transfusion or whatever you're sick with.
Say you found
Was
a bunch
this a celiac
of
thing?
melted down cotton candy in my blood, and what can we do about that? And I will work on that.
What is truly a diagnosable disease you have turned into a fun thing. The way that you go about your life is something that like people should be like study.
I was gonna say to both of you, well, and Alan, I wonder how it because Mike, you're a vegetarian, correct, or are you vegan?
Vegetarian.
Vegetarian, and Alan, you have celiac disease, and I'll be honest with you. If tomorrow I was told I had to be vegetarian or that I had celiac disease, I maybe would kill myself. So, my question to you guys is, Mike, what sent you on that course? And then Alan, this is new. This is what's crazy to me is that you said that you like this beer, and this is new. Like in your mind, are you like, this beer is okay for what I must now drink? Or is it that sort of thing of like, no, this is genuinely good? And also, can you have cider still, or is that out of the question?
I can have cider. No, I'm kind
There you
of
go.
I'm like I'm a robot with food. So like I'm very fun to eat with. I have a crippling nut allergy, which has sent me to the hospital like 6 or 7 times.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so I've had that for like 10, 15 years. I kind of developed it.
What kind of nuts?
All nuts.
All
Kind of
nuts,
different
any nut.
levels. Yeah, but I've gone to baseball games where I've gone to the hospital because of peanuts, almonds, the whole thing.
Jesus.
Again, is this a medical podcast? So because I had that, I just became very mechanical about food. And like whenever I eat, there's a little bit of like thinking about my own mortality. So because I had that for such a long time, when I got diagnosed with celiac, like the doctor was like, all right, you can't do this anymore. I was going to do a week of eating whatever the fuck I wanted. Then I had a trip planned to go to Italy with my friends, which I was going to eat all of the bread ever. And we called that trip a wheat vederci, which is easily the worst pun ever. And the idea was to then never eat bread. And I just, it was like it's a switch for me, man. I don't know.
Right.
I was just like, oh, I can't do it anymore. All right, I'm gonna take a week and then I'm done. And I never thought about it again.
That also the nut allergy compounds the celiacs though, because nut flours are a lot of times a substitute for
Yeah, like almond flour. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can eat 4 things: water, lettuce,
He can
Paul's
eat water?
Breezers.
Oh my god.
and popcorn kernels. Those are my
Wow.
my 4 food groups.
Dear God.
That's tricky. How do you navigate that on? How do you navigate that on set? Because when you're working on a show, and for our listeners who aren't in entertainment, you're like kind of captive. You're kind of there. You can't go anywhere. They provide food for you. You're kind of eating what they bring you. How do you navigate that?
You just ask as many questions as you can, and you hope that enough people know that if you accidentally eat a nut, they're probably not shooting for the rest of the day. So I think they.
Yeah, but
you know,
you try to sell it to them in a bad way because sometimes
also,
people want to
it's a
stop.
threat.
They-
It's a threat. I'm making it very clear that like.
Yeah.
If at any point I don't want to shoot anymore, I will go over to the crafty table and just eat a bunch of almonds because I'm done for the day. And I would like to go to the hospital.
This is where I feel bad because on days I want to go home early, I start throwing peanuts at you.
Yeah.
And it worked.
But you didn't know he was allergic.
I mean,
you were just
Mitch,
being an
I think-
asshole.
You shot the shortest day on Brews Brothers, which was by 8:19 a.m. We were going home because you were just like fed up and just throwing peanuts at me.
Although, as I recall, he put all of them into his mouth and then spit them out at you like an elephant in a cartoon.
This is just shocking to me that Mitch was up by 8:19 a.m.
Well, he was
Yes,
not
Nick.
cool about it.
Yeah, Nick, even when there's a call time of 6 a.m., I sleep until noon, you fucking dick.
I do feel
You're
like
not a
Mike,
morning person.
You were late a few times, weren't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of remember something was delayed once because you weren't there and we had to do a scene
No,
early.
that is not true. That wasn't me. That was my scene partner.
Oh, where it was like he had an audition or something. That was James. That wasn't you.
There was one day where I had an audition and I told them that I had an audition and I had to go to that audition.
All right, but everyone, even if I'm wrong, please make note of how just nervous he just sounded. That was stressful.
No, I'm not. Look, there's 6 a.m. call times. You got to be the set at 6 a.m. It sucks.
It does
It's just
suck.
the way it is.
Although sometimes it's nice,
There's a
like how
window-
empty
there's-
the streets are and stuff. Although now that means something else.
Yeah.
There's like a window when you have a 6 a.m. call time for actors. You guys know this. You have like a 10 to 15 minute window where you can still be late and not get in trouble.
Definitely.
But then, like you were saying, Mike, if the scariest thing on earth is being late into the window where you cause any issue, and
Yes.
then it is
Well,
then that
especially
is
because
terrifying.
like you will be greeted on set with the most panicked PA you have ever seen in your
Yes.
life, who is
Yeah.
like, "I'm going to lose my job," and you're like, "Why? What the hell? What is the politics here?"
And it's always the youngest person on set that
Yeah.
they give that position to.
Yeah. We're
Who's
obviously
like-
both thinking of the same person on Brews Brothers.
and it sucks. They shouldn't be in charge. That's a miserable job.
Well, I really think that
Yeah.
it's a key choice to pick a young and very nice person to be that person on set because you then
Yeah.
feel bad and you're like I would want to be resentful of this girl who'd always come and be like, "Hey, they need you back on set," and I'll be like, "I was just there," but she's so nice that I would be like, "Okay, all right, cool, sorry, I
Yeah.
don't want to be mad at you ever."
Yeah, and also this is an annoying actor thing. Your time is wasted constantly. It's just
Oh
just
yeah,
what
no, it's
happens.
absolutely
Nick, you know this.
constant. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of jobs, but in particular you were idle a lot. There's a lot of just sitting there. There's a lot of waiting to do something, and then they say they need you, and then they don't need you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that
it's a lot. It's like the key, like it's infantilizing is the main way it always feels, where you want to walk away and you're like, I'm going to go sit over there. And they're like, actually, they need you right here. And you're like, all right. And then you stand there for like 20 minutes and they're like, okay, you're free. I'm like, I would have just been over there.
I will say this. The one plus side to Brews Brothers, it was very hot because it was the summertime, is that when you did walk away, you could walk into a giant fridge, Nick.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that was
God,
nice.
that fridge.
I can smell
There's
it
a
now,
big
though.
fridge.
There's
Yeah.
a big functioning walk-in fridge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It was huge.
We shot.
So you
We
guys
shot
were-
at we shot at an actual brewery, an old brewery.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was an actual functional walk-in fridge.
I but tell you, a walk-in fridge, that's like, if you work in a restaurant, obviously that's an everyday experience. People are used to that. But like for me, that is just, I always feels like I'm going into like Willy Wonka's factory. It's
Yes.
just like, this is
Yeah.
amazing. This
Yeah,
is like
if you're
a big
ever
cold
in
room.
like in a rich person's home, and they have, I've been in one rich person's home where they had a walk-in fridge, and it was the most fucking
Bananas.
insane shit.
That's insane.
yeah, it
That's
was awesome.
wild.
Was it oh shit, I forget her name. Nick, what's her name?
Who do you think? What's her name?
Cher? Who?
Who are you talking about?
Jenny's Ice Cream.
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi. I got it.
Yeah, Mike, were you in Nancy Pelosi's house?
I feel like
That's what Mitch wants to know.
lost the thread of how we ever could have gotten there just from the search that had to happen to get there.
I forgot Nancy
cold?
Pelosi's name for a second. I forgot Nancy Pelosi's name.
Also, that's the wealthiest person you could think of. That's the first.
no,
do
she
not like
recently
this.
she recently just showed off her like two like gigantic, very expensive fridges.
Oh god.
And there was Jenny's ice cream. And Nick, I thought you would. I thought you knew what I would be talking about.
It
She's
was
got
not,
two Sub-Zeros. Yeah.
She got two Sub-Zeros.
It was not Nancy Pelosi. It was someone else. I won't say who, but they did this thing that
Chuck Schumer.
I commend myself for my reaction to, which is they were like, yeah, it's a walk-in. And I was like, oh, cool. And they were like, yeah, you can walk into it. I was like, oh, all right. And I walk in, and then they close the door. And then they're like, you're locked in. And I gave absolutely no reaction. I just stood there. I was like,
Because what is the
and
to
then
you
they're like,
the
oh,
joke there?
sorry. And then they open it. I was like,
What? So the joke, but also the joke to you in that scenario is that like, oh, we could kill you in here.
Yeah,
is
right,
basically
yeah.
what-
Yeah.
And it's like, well, don't do that. Don't do
Yeah,
it. It's not a
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, that's not fun.
yeah.
Nick, I got a monkey paw wish for you right now.
Okay.
Wishing for two Sub-Zeros.
Whoa.
Two Sub-Zero fridges. You
No,
think
but
it-
if you wish, but if you
Oh,
said,
and
can I
then
get
what-
two Sub-Zeros?
Yeah, you get two Mortal Kombat Sub-Zeros,
Yeah.
and then you get decapitated and your spine is dangling down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's no picnic.
You guys really
I'm
have your
glad
own
you-
language, huh?
I'm glad you agree, Nick.
Let me tell you about how I became a vegetarian. I've been vegetarian
Please.
for like 15 years or so, or 14 years since I was in high school. Oh, yeah. My best friend and I became vegetarian basically at the same time as a sort of general act of defiance at the time. But also, I had I was in England when I was 16 for some fucking like a study abroad kind of program. And while I was there, I ate a horse burger, or I was like tricked into eating a horse burger.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, and it
We
like
made this joke earlier. You actually ate a horse burger.
yeah,
Oh my
well, actually,
God.
when you guys were talking about it, I was like, I'm sure I'll say this little anecdote of mine coming up.
So that was a pre-call for your horse burger.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah. But it made me feel really sick, but also like it was one of those things where I was like, oh my god, that's so fucked up. I can't believe anyone would ever eat that. And then it kind of was one of those things where you see like suddenly no distinction between two things when you're a teenager. Where I was like, oh wait,
Yes.
it's the same as cow. And then it was all gross to me suddenly.
I had a similar experience, and I didn't actually eat horse. Although I have eaten. No, wait, I ate horse. We had horse meat sausage you brought back from Italy, Mitch. I had some.
Yeah,
of that.
we weren't going to say that off the double.
Oh yeah, well I ate some of that. Anyway, again once it's food, I'm like, what? This is either going in the trash or it's going in someone's mouth, and might as
Yeah.
well be my mouth.
If someone came to you and I was roasted on a spit, you would eat some of me?
No, I don't think, because I don't think you would want that. If I knew that you would you'd wanted me to eat you as like part
You're
of
talking basically your morality with it is the ontological preference of the thing.
I think I probably, and maybe this is an issue with how I view life forms, but I think I view people a little differently.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if an animal has been killed and is turned into meat, I would have less of a problem eating that. But a person, I would be like, well, this is too much for me unless the person gave their explicit permission.
And then
But
you
what
would
if you
eat-
did?
Yeah, I give my permission.
Yeah, if you did, then yeah, I would have a bite of you.
I do think
I
that
would.
like one of the most common responses I would hear growing up, because both my parents really hated the vegetarian thing. My mom still claims to like not understand that I can't eat chicken and shit like that. And it's like 15 years. But they always would say like something is already getting made, so it's like you might as well eat it. Was basically
Sure.
always the perspective.
Is that a South Side of Chicago thing? Do you think, like in terms of like how they do
I
food?
feel like it was
and-
it's like Irishness or something. Like I lived in a really Irish neighborhood, and I feel like that's both my parents were like they couldn't believe it when I said I wasn't going to eat meat.
Yeah, I feel like my parents would have an issue with that, with not eating any sort of meat product. I think it would annoy them.
I have some random friends back in Chicago where when I last saw them after not seeing them for like many years, one of them was like, "Hey, do you still not eat meat?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, no." And he was like, "Whoa." I was like,
That guy gets blown away too easy.
yeah. Now that I think about it, he's always like that.
He's never committed to anything in his life.
Is your mom's house still across the street? Holy shit!
Are you a deep? Alan, we'll talk about both of your food histories here, but are you like a deep dish pizza person? Do you like a lot of the Chicago? Are you a fan of a lot of Chicago food?
Yeah, I kind of always wish I always like to not have my like hat in the ring with any of these like geographic specific things. You know, like people always say, "Oh, you grew up on the south side of Chicago, so you love the Sox." And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about baseball. It's like you've already lost me, and so I don't want to do the pizza thing, but. Chicago's pizza is better than New York's, and it is better than LA's, and it is the most superior pizza available.
Wow. Alan is vigorously shaking his head. Alan, you're from New Jersey originally, right? And obviously you live in the city now.
Yeah, born in New York, grew up in Jersey, back here. But either way, good pizza. Depending on the side of the river doesn't affect it. But
Right.
I mean, this is the argument that every New Yorker makes. But the water, right? The water makes the pizza what it is, and you just can't make that in Chicago.
Dirty water.
Yeah, give me that gross water that makes me happy. I don't know.
There's the water bagel. What's Larry King's place out here, Wiger?
Larry King has I forget what it is. I think it's called like the Brooklyn Water Bagel Company, something like that.
Yes.
His whole thing, and then he supposedly, it's very wasteful, imports the tap water from the 5 boroughs, Manhattan, Queens, the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Staten Island, and he uses it to make their bagels out here. And it's supposedly, I don't know if it makes a difference, and people say it makes a difference, but who knows if it's fucking confirmation bias. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we heard there was an anecdote we got actually on set about beer and like the beer from Pilsen, which I think is Germany, or where's Pilsen, Alan? Was that Germany or was it Austria or something?
No, I thought he was talking about, wasn't it like how Bud Light, how they can make the same in every...
Yeah, but originally the name of a Pilsner came from beer brewed off of this lake in Pilsen. And basically, like, when they were trying to replicate the recipe for it, when they, like, expanded, the beer wouldn't taste the same because it didn't have the same water source as the original beer. And so they worked, like, through the Zymergy to make it more like that by slightly tweaking it so that it would all taste the same no matter where it was brewed.
I was not there for that story. We have different experiences
well,
in life,
I
Mike.
really dug in with Kale on set, I think.
Sure.
Alan, what is this Bud Light story here? Because I'm a Bud Light was my beer for a very long time, and I know that everyone thinks it's a bad beer, but whatever, it gets the job done.
Well, the guy who ran the brewery that we shot at said that the greatest scientific achievement of all time was the fact that you could drink a Bud Light in the United States, you could drink it in Australia, you could drink it anywhere in the world, like one made in that country, and it tasted the same. That they were engineering the ingredients around the water so that it tasted the same regardless of where you had it. And he was, again, convinced that, any research we had done to cure or AIDS or cancer or the iPhone technology, none of it compared to the achievement that was drinking Bud Light in any place and having it taste the same.
Wow.
Just
that's
in
cool.
terms of the content of my anecdote and yours, I feel like what must have happened was he said that, and then I like took an arm around him and I was like, tell me a little bit more. And then he told me the following. Sure. The Pilsner thing.
That's very likely. And when you pulled him over, you had the chess app open on your phone. You were only half paying attention.
Yeah. But dude, I dominated Kale in chess, and he was not cool about it.
Nick
Was
said
he one of the
that
few who beat you?
No, but he had one opportunity, and I told him after the game, and he was furious.
Who is
Mike
this
Nixon-
Kale character?
He was like the guy who owned the brewery.
Oh, okay.
And so he was like
yeah.
our beer teacher.
I met him.
He would like take
Also-
us through all the history and stuff.
Kind of technical advisor, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Nick. Mike, I heard that you walked away from you fell asleep. Is that what happened with Nick's
we
game?
discussed this earlier on the episode.
Yeah. I was.
You heard this earlier on the episode.
Yeah, well, guess what? Just like
this
Mike,
20 minutes ago.
Just like Mike, I fucking fell asleep during that segment of the episode. I gotta say this: the downside to drinking beer on set is that the beer was a non-alcoholic fake beer that was not good.
And it just makes you burp and fart so much, man. I hate
Yeah,
it.
it's disgusting. And also I would be like drinking it to kind of make it look realistic, and it was just drinking empty fucking calories that taste like shit.
Like,
It was a
if we
bummer.
could get around that whatever like clause is that means you can't have alcohol on set or whatever, I would prefer to drink real beer while we're filming.
I mean, yes. You wouldn't drink more than like 2 or 3, you know?
Right. And also, like, when you have that fake beer shit, I can't even sip it. You know, I just go, it's just gonna make me full and feel like shit.
I was Nick. I was raised on Bud Light, as you know, from a young boy. And
A young boy raised you?
And then I started getting to like more craft beers, and I used to get some stuff at Oaks Gourmet, but now in the last few years I don't drink as much beer anymore. It kind of bums me out. I just can't do it anymore. It's kind of I'm with you guys. Or I'm with Alan. I guess it just doesn't happen as much. I'd rather do a tequila and soda water than
It's
beer.
nice
It's a
to
lot.
drink like 2 beers.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you have
Something
like
that
a,
I really enjoy.
you have like a sixer, that's excessive. Certainly at my age, I feel like I have gotten, as I've gotten older, I've gotten less hoppy. I used to
Me too.
give me that hoppy, and now I'm like a
too.
pilsner, or even if I'm drinking a craft beer, give me something light.
Yeah, that was a startling turn for me. When I was first getting into beer, I was all about IPAs. And then sharp turn at like 24, 25. And now there was this one beer we would drink after filming a lot. There was like a Bavik Pils, and it was the fucking best, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so good. I literally would crave it by like, it was like pure like Pavlovian alcoholism. By like 5 p.m. every day, I would be like, literally, I would feel myself salivating. I was like, dude, I need to get one of those pills. So let's edit
Did you say
that
it? Did you say creepy like that?
Yeah, it was
Gotta
whoever
get
I
one
was
of those
standing
pills.
closest to, I would say it exactly like that in their ear, with no context around it at all.
Wiger, so your beer taste is kind of like an aging bunny rabbit.
Yes, like an aging bunny rabbit, I have gotten less hoppy.
All right, now we can take our break.
Now we'll take a break. We'll be back with more Doughboys. Hey, in these trying times, it's nice to support your loved ones and your community if you have the means. An unexpected gift, an extra large tip, be sure to do that if you're getting takeout, or in particular if you're dining out at a patio or something like that. And boost that gratuity. The floor is no longer 15%. It's way higher. And things may have changed around us, but our inner drive to be there for the people who we care about runs deeper than ever. When we come together as a community, we empower ourselves to make meaningful change. Our normal has changed, and we're finding new ways to connect and continue supporting one another. We started social distancing when we spend time with friends and explore local cuisine. And what if you're just finding out about this now, through me? Social distancing. Watch the news. And we're doing more to support and advocate for underrepresented communities. So what we need more than ever is an easy way to support each other from afar. The solution. PayPal. There you go. With the PayPal app, sending and receiving money is faster or easier. Who knew? It was PayPal all along. Stay connected with the people you love. Quickly and securely send money to friends and family, just about anywhere in the world. Start a money pool to split the bill, or go in on a gift, or fundraise for a good cause. Support the places and causes you care about the most. Make touch-free QR code payments at your local restaurant or favorite farmer's market. Donate to a local nonprofit or support a cause from across the country. PayPal is making it easy to pay safely, quickly, and easily. Download the PayPal app today. Terms and conditions apply. Do you experience stress or have anxiety or chronic pain or have trouble sleeping at least once a week? You are not alone. Many of us do, including myself. All of the above. Anxiety, trouble sleeping, those bother me the most. I was searching for anything that would help. Then I discovered Feels. What is Feels? Feals. Feels. Feels is premium CBD delivered directly to your doorstep. Feels naturally helps reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. Place a few drops of Feels under your tongue and feel the difference within minutes. Now, the product is called Feels, Feals, but feel the difference here is spelled traditionally Feel. So, Feels is the product. Feel is what you will do. The thing to remember about CBD is that finding your right dose is important, and everyone's dose is different. So leave room to experiment over the course of a week or so. You may need to take more or less to get the effects you're after. New to CBD, Feels offers a free CBD hotline to help guide your personal experience. Breaker, having trouble sleeping. That's a 10-4, good buddy. Feels works naturally to help you feel better. There's no high, hangover, or addiction. CBD hotlines kind of sounds like CB radio. That's where I was going with there. Join the Feels community to get Feels delivered to your door every month. You'll save money on every order, and you can pause or cancel anytime. By the way, I know we get some long-haul truckers who listen to the podcast. God bless you. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your service. Stay safe out there on the road. Feels has me feeling my best every day, and it can help you too. Become a member today by going to feels.com/doughboys, and you get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's feals.com/doughboys to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/doughboys. Welcome back to Doughboys. Our guests, Alan Eisenberg, Mike Castle, of the new series Brews Brothers, now streaming on Netflix. Our chain this week, Chipotle. But before we get into that, Alan, there's a biographical detail of yours that we wanted to touch on. Both your parents are from Argentina.
Yeah, they're born out there, and they actually met here. But that is like the true core of my cuisine growing up was Argentinian food.
What are your Argentinians' favorites? Both in I guess just like what you'd have, stuff you'd have at home, and then also like if you're going to go out for Argentinian food, what are your go-tos?
I mean, the staples in the house always were, empanadas, which are little like flour. I mean, people know what empanadas are. I'm explaining it like no one's ever. You guys know what pizza is? So pizza is this like dough. Empanadas and milanesas, which is just a fancy word for chicken cutlet. I've never understood why our culture is so crazed on this breaded chicken and wants to call it a fancy name when that's all it is. And you don't really put anything on it. It's just breaded chicken. And then a shit ton of meat. Like my fondest memories of coming home were like my dad grilling like sausage and skirt steak and just a shit ton of chimichurri sauce. And like I grew up on kind of those three things on loop.
Man, skirt steak and chimichurri sauce, that is a great. I mean, I never even think of skirt steak and chimichurri sauce that often, and that's one of the best, Nick. It's fucking delicious.
That chimichurri sauce is a quality sauce, a top-tier sauce. And when you come across it, it's just like, oh yeah, this is going to be okay.
And it's
Castle
not hard
doesn't buy
to
it.
make.
Castle,
Dude, I'm just dead-eyed over here. I have no idea. It's been so long since I've had meat. I don't just...
that's right.
I just don't even know.
But Castle, throw it
I
on
regularly,
like eggplant.
Lauren will say something like, someone will say something about like a steak or something. I'll be like, I can't even do an example of what I don't understand because I understand it so little. I don't know anything about it.
Well, you have it because I've noticed some longtime vegetarians don't really like the Impossible Burger or the Beyond Burger because it's recreating meat too closely.
I love it. I think it tastes
You
delicious.
like it? Okay.
Yeah. I first had one at like some burger place in Chicago, and I was like, this is fucking unbelievable. I honestly like started craving it immediately. I like all the meat substitutes. Now, although when I was first, like in my first 3 or 4 years, when I would eat something that tasted too much like meat, it would freak me out. Now I'm just like, hey, look at that. Nice job.
Alan, I want to talk about empanadas real quick because I love empanadas, and I found like maybe one place in LA that I like, but like are there good empanada places in New York at all?
Yeah, there's a spot in Corona, Queens. The name is
One of the 5 boroughs.
El Chiquito Gaucho, I think it's called. That has empanadas that feel like you're in Buenos Aires. Like it's,
wow.
I go to Argentina probably twice a year, and like know what that tastes like. And this is the closest thing to it, if not, it's pretty perfect. It's the equivalent of, I think, Larry King's, where they ship out the water to LA. They're doing something that they're bringing from Argentina that makes it just taste like home.
It's also water.
What was the place you took me and Lauren to? Was that?
That was a place. No, that was a Brazilian place. So Mike,
Yeah.
I'm going to out you on
right,
this. Mike doesn't know where countries sometimes are. Mike, where did you think Argentina was when you first met me?
Somewhere around Spain. Yeah.
And
It was
everyone's-
honestly, I honestly am almost proud of how stupid this moment is, which was that Alan said, something about South America, and then I was like, oh, he's talking about Argentina, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love Barcelona. And I was, what else? I like Madrid. And then he's like, why are you saying that? And I was like, wait, where's Argentina? And then, and so on and so forth. But then, like, all day, I think I said that at the beginning of the day, and all day long, anything you would talk to me about, I'd go, I can't believe I thought Argentina. Yeah, it was great. And you kept saying, let it go.
No, but I took you guys
go.
to Beco, which is a place in Williamsburg out here that is a Brazilian spot that makes a gluten-free, I think, like all the cheese bread, the
I just
Brazilian
want to
cheese
ask you
bread.
whatever those fucking things were. I can taste it the second I think of that. That thing was so delicious.
It's this like tapioca breaded cheese with like a jam that like we walked into the restaurant and I said to Castle and Lauren, I'm like, I'm ordering these, like, trust me, you'll have them. They're like, okay. And then they got there and we just like devoured them.
Yeah.
Wow.
You mentioned going to Argentina. What is are there any delicacies that you can only get in Argentina? You can't really get in the Argentinian restaurants in the States?
The ice cream is really specific out there. Like they pride themselves. There's probably like 2 or 3 ice cream shops per block in parts of Buenos Aires, which is insane. And their whole thing is like no toppings, nothing special. It's just about the flavor of the ice cream. And you can't really recreate it out here. There's a spot called Fredo, which is a chain. And I think they have one in Miami that's kind of, it tastes pretty close. But that's the only thing that I haven't really been able to fake out here. You can get cows up here, so I think they found a way to make the meat taste the same. But you can't get the ice cream.
What is it about the ice cream that's so specific?
Go ahead.
Oh
Alan.
yeah,
Sorry.
what is it about the ice cream that's so specific?
It's so full of flavor. Like it's again, and they're not. It's not like an ice cream here where there's cookies and potato chips or whatever bullshit. Like here, it's just about like, or in Argentina, it's like my favorite one is a raspberry one from Wesa that just tastes like you're eating a raspberry.
Wow.
They're clearly using actual fruit and there's like very low sugar in it, and it's just very Buenos Aires.
I don't think I've ever had Argentinian food before. Like I've never been to an Argentinian restaurant, I believe, or anything. I've had Peruvian food, which is, I guess, close, and I love. What is it? Is it saltada? Saltado?
Lomo saltado.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great meal. But I don't think I've ever had any Argentinian food.
I haven't found a spot in LA yet, but next time I'm out there, let's find a spot and try it.
I love it.
How exciting! Well, moving from South America to North America.
What a segue.
Chipotle, established in Denver, and giving and presenting the food of Mexico. We've reviewed Chipotle twice. Once very early on in the podcast, we reviewed it very positively, and then we revisited it, Mitch, not just for our Tournament of Champions, but also when they released queso. We gave it another full review with our pal Chelsea Davison, and it took a huge dive ratings-wise between reviews. A reverse Burger King, if you will. Burger King made a comeback, and Chipotle made a major decline.
You know what? I didn't even think you have to go into details. I think people just get when you say reverse Burger King.
It's a reverse Burger King. People know the trajectory. Are either of you guys Chipotle regulars?
No.
Wait, were those opposite answers?
Those were opposite answers.
At the exact same time.
Simultaneous, yeah.
This is the makings of a brotherly rivalry right now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, my rating is not going to be positive today. So
Wow. Okay.
I'm a fan.
Alan is a fan. Alan, what do you get normally at Chipotle? And obviously your order, I bet, has changed since your diagnosis.
It has. My new go-to order, which I had today, burrito bowl, brown rice, black and pinto beans, which is, I believe,
Ooh, all
called
right.
Fiesta. A shit ton of corn, a little bit of the green salsa, sour cream, lots of it, lettuce, and then the main protein being the sofritas, the like tofu, and then chips, and then more corn on the side for the chips. That is the
Wow.
go-to. You know, I can have that 2, 3, 4 times a week.
Whole bunch of corn.
As I said that out loud, I can't be having Chipotle that often. That's a problem.
The number kept going up. 2, 3, 10, 25 times a week. Doesn't matter.
I agree with you, and it's something that I will talk about with my final thoughts. But like Chipotle, for what it is, if you get a bowl, you can get a pretty low calorie, not that bad meal, Nick. It can be decent, and
Omitting that tortilla goes a long way.
it's that sort of thing that we talked about, like a Subway. If you go into a Subway and you do it up your way, you can get something that is okay for lunch. But you know, how is it? You know what I mean? How is the food? Is always the
Yes.
question with Chipotle.
It's very intense when you look into that other camera.
I mean, it deserved that. It deserved that look here. Chipotle. But you guys don't like that. I'm sorry.
I have
For
to keep looking
for
away.
our listeners, Mitch has two angles on himself when he records these Zoom calls. He sets up his phone as like kind of a side camera, and then when he has a point he really wants to lean in, he'll turn to that side camera and deliver it.
It's like a confession booth to one side.
So kind of like the thing with Chipotle is it needs to be more consistent.
And I bet you guys
That
can
is a
hear where that
joke
turn
for
occurred.
literally 6 people.
That's
Hey, but it landed on me, and I just thought that felt like an old SNL bit.
Alan. Doughboys is funny for about 6 different people. So we're
Oh, great.
We have a lot of
if we're
hate
hitting those
listeners.
numbers.
Yeah. Mike, so not a Chipotle fan, not a place you go to regularly?
Let me say, when I first moved to LA, I loved Chipotle. I feel like it was more around in my life when I lived in the Hollywood-ish area when I first moved here, and so I would.
And
kinda,
for those of you who don't know Hollywood, there's a Chipotle on every corner, baby.
truly, man, it is Chipotle rich over there. And I liked it then, but then you know what? I think that my major deductions that are going to happen today almost all have to do with the pandemic and ordering it on an app and not like I made decisions I would not have made had I actually been there.
Well, here's that is an issue with Chipotle and any of these assemble your own meal places, is that you add one extra thing and it's unga pachka. You got too much going on and you've ruined your meal. It's the same thing,
You say the word too much. You say that word too much.
No, I say it the right amount. If I said a little too much, it might be unga pachka, my usage of it. But I think currently my usage is fine. The Chipotle I go to is right next to a Cold Stone Creamery. Same sort of thing on the dessert side. You can just fuck up your mix-ins and sweet creamery combo, and then all of a sudden you've got a dessert that's no good. It's like when Link completely butchers a recipe in Breath of the Wild.
That's just a fucking big mound of fucking mush. Those two,
It really
a Chipotle and a Cold Stone Creamery. They should just knock down the wall and make a big fucking hot and cold mush store.
Yeah,
They got a savory pile and a sweet pile.
Stop acting like you're separate entities. You got, it's one long chain.
So Mike, I ordered with the app as you did. I like the app. I think the app. I'd never used it before. My lovely wife Natalie helped me through it.
I made a tremendous mistake with it, which is that first of all, I was gonna get like a burrito bowl thing, but I believed that either Alan or Mitch would make fun of me because that seems like what I would get. And so I preemptively, lashed out against them and got something different from what I would get. And I went with just the burrito, but then I just clicked veggie burrito, but then all it had in it was rice.
What? You didn't customize it?
No.
I didn't understand. I just clicked veggie burrito, and I was like, just whatever the fuck. And so it was the driest trash I've ever taken like 4 bites of, and I was like, what the fuck? So I understand I didn't know that for the app, I couldn't. It should not. The base of a veggie burrito should not just be rice. It should obviously be beans, rice, a couple other fucking things.
Or can't contact you and ask, is this a mistake? You got a flour tortilla filled with white rice. That was your meal.
And I took a
insane.
bite into it and I was like, no. And it was, and the key, the really my least favorite part of the whole thing, it was like this big. It was like the smallest little nothing of a burrito I've ever received.
Now look, Doughboys is not a
Castle
test.
put his hand, yeah.
Doughboys is not a test, but Mike, you somehow failed Doughboys.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I was going to say Castle held up his hand in kind of like a reverse Sonny Corleone sizing.
Yes, exactly.
To give us a
it's
sense
the
of how
literal
big it was.
opposite of the Sunny.
A very,
That was
very
not-
small, modest burrito.
That was not that small, by the way, what he just held up.
I had a, so here's the thing. That is confusing, and they should have, the app should be more clear, because if you click veggie burrito, it says includes, my app said includes guacamole. So that felt like more of a prefab thing. But I also did a veggie burrito, and I would normally get a bowl, but I wanted to get something different for this episode, as you did, Mike. And so I got a veggie burrito. I threw in, so it comes with guac. I added pinto beans. The pinto beans are vegan. They used to include bacon, but they are vegan now. White rice, fajita veggies, tomatillo green chili, which is their medium salsa. I believe that is the salsa that Alan got, and also cheese and sour cream. So I loaded it up. I also got some chips and guac. I'd say a decent burrito. It was
I messed
fine.
up, but I still, and this is my American right, I blame Chipotle for my mess up.
Mike, I just went into the app. All you have to do is continue to scroll. You put veggie and then all of the other options are there, bud.
It said add, but I was like, it didn't say, it was like that it will come with nothing. So I was like, oh, in addition to whatever the base veggie burrito is, if it said, I basically ordered a rice burrito.
Yes.
So why would it say veggie? Like it felt like if you're picking veggie, that means more than just rice. Like it initially said chicken. If you order the chicken one, would there be no chicken in it until you add chicken?
Here's what I'll say in your defense, Mike,
a good
is
point.
that a lot of these chains where they're all about customization, Five Guys suffers from this as well. They don't have like a default option. And I think if you are someone who's not familiar with this chain or not familiar with their ordering process, or a total newbie, you've never been there before, you're taking your maiden voyage to Chipotle, you might be confused. And it would be nice if they're like, I'll just get the number one, which is like, we've set up this is a burrito with these combo ingredients.
I felt that if I were getting the like open burrito bowl thing, for some reason I was like, that you would customize more. If it says veggie burrito, I just assumed it was like going into any place and ordering a veggie burrito.
Yeah. I will say that mine was ready right on time. I arrived just like right when the app said it was going to be delivered, and they were like finishing making it and handed it to me. So they it was very well handled on their end. And the chips and I think their guac is good. I will say this. I think Chipotle's guacamole is maybe their best menu item.
That's good.
Guac is extra, but I think it's the thing that's always consistent there. Mitch,
what?
what did you
I
get?
disagree with you. You know what I think that is their best thing is the sour cream.
They do. They have quality sour cream. A
They have good sour cream.
A little liquidy for my taste, but I still like it.
It's like almost like fluff-like. It's like Fluffernutter.
Yeah.
It's like very. It's like I mean, I love it. Nick, I went a little different today too. I got myself a burrito bowl. I ordered from the app. I ordered from the Chipotle app itself, and they have free delivery right now during the quarantine. And I got myself a burrito bowl, white rice. I went pinto beans, which I never get, and I got oh my god, barbacoa. I did barbacoa as my meat.
Fun.
Cheese, sour cream, tomato salsa, green salsa, and then I got a side of chips with green salsa so I could also put it on. Oh, and I also got red salsa, which I never do, to make it a little bit spicier. And I also got a little side of queso for those chips. Nick, it tasted like my meal was prepared on that Cold Stone Creamery board, the ice board or whatever the hell it is.
Oh boy.
It was cold as hell.
Oh no. That's right.
And also, it came so fast. It came within 23 minutes, the delivery, from when I ordered it, which is crazy.
So that strikes me as maybe and again, everyone's figuring this out, our current hell world on the fly, but that strikes me as they did not have a good delivery protocol for, like, they don't have like an insulated bag. Need like our old Rachel Ray bag that we used to use that would keep something hot for delivery. There was
something so, I mean, like, even in 23 minutes, it felt like I felt like the food at the restaurant was cold.
It shouldn't get cold that quickly.
And here's what I think is, like, I don't think Subway is good. But for a long time, it was just this sort of thing of, like, I know what I'm going to go get if I go get a fucking make it my way and get a turkey and cheese sub and toast it or whatever. I know it's going to be a certain quality. Chipotle is just it's all over the place, man. It's the quality control of it. It needs to be more like like when you go to McDonald's. Usually, we talk about this where it's like 85% of the time, 90% of the time, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think McDonald's doesn't have as much variance as some other chains in its price category. One of my favorites, Del Taco, that's kind of all over the map, and that's kind of the negative about Del Taco.
Yeah.
You'll have some rough Del Tacos. But and Wendy's, I've heard across the country, there's some very bad Wendy's, particularly in the South. Like, I guess that's just a bad region for Wendy's. Whereas other regions, it's like the best. It's like the highest caliber. So I think Chipotle has some inconsistency between franchises for sure.
Yeah, the consistency issue is, and I feel like just like because like I said, it can be a nice little treat for lunch. You can do a salad or a bowl and not feel really guilty if you get some chicken and some salsa in there. It can be all right. You know what I mean? But the quality just kind of goes all over the place. And today it was just a cold fucking goopy mess. The queso, which by the way does taste better than when we first had it.
They've improved it a little bit.
And that was the part of the reason I got it was to try the queso again. And I thought it was better, but it was cold and it was like half of the container. There was like this much queso, an angry inch.
Oh, that's a better metric to use. I shouldn't have even used my fingers. I should have said my burrito was the size of an angry inch.
But no, it was. I was like, I wanted it to be like that kind of like Chipotle. The world in the last 15 to 20 years has changed in that Chipotle is not a special restaurant anymore. It's not fancy. Like it once felt like, whoa, these are like real quality burritos. Doesn't feel that way anymore. In 2020, that is not the case. But
We've
I was
seen
like,
this
you know
with
what?
Quiznos.
Quiznos
came on the scene and was like, oh, this is like the nice sandwich place. And then they scaled up too quickly and the quality took a dive. And yeah, same thing's happening with Chipotle.
Umami Burger, too, is the other one that we...
Umami Burger for sure, yeah. More just in LA, but the same thing.
It scaled up too fast?
Yeah, they opened up too many umamis and it stopped being this special thing that it once was. Baja Fresh, that's the big one for me. Baja Fresh,
Yeah.
a lot of people, if you're not from SoCal, you may not know that Baja Fresh at some point was like a nice, like Mexican, fast casual Mexican place. Like it was like
Even
a higher quality.
When I moved out here in 2005, Nick, it was still, I think that was starting to end at that point, but it still was nice. It was not...
Yeah. Everything was fresh, and it was like very good quality. And then actually, part of it was them being acquired by Wendy's, who we touched on, and the other part was them having to compete with Chipotle.
But that's it's so weird to me that Chipotle was acquired by McDonald's, and I know that I think since then maybe they're not anymore, but I don't know what the deal is. But
They what?
it's that sort.
They flipped it. They held on to Chipotle for a hot second, and then they flipped it.
Oh, no shit. Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, like a house in foreclosure.
Was it related to the E. coli stuff? Which I'm still amazed that they were able to, rebound from that.
It's unbelievable they survived that. I will say Jack in the Box had an even more severe E. coli scare that led to some deaths
Didn't
in the
Jimmy
90s,
John's have an
and they recovered
E.
from
coli
that.
scare as well?
Yeah, same. Yeah, they also had a similar thing.
They took the sprouts out as a result, which was a bummer
Yeah.
'cause I love those fucking sprouts.
Oh, those
I
sprouts are nice.
I hate Jimmy John's to remind me of a chain that I fucking don't like.
I, for some reason, love it. I don't know
I don't
why.
mind it.
Do you
I don't
really?
mind Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy John's is pretty good.
I like their
Jimmy-
veggie sandwich.
Jimmy John himself is like a piece of shit. Isn't he like a
Yeah,
big game hunter?
yeah, he's like a game
He's an
hunter.
awful
Yeah,
man.
he's a piece of
Truly
shit,
terrible
yeah.
man. Everyone who runs one of these companies is a ghoul. That's just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
nature of it.
Yeah, the thought of any of the guys running any of these companies, just even looking at the food I'm going to eat makes me not want to eat it. But I know they never have, so it doesn't matter.
Do you know what they should change Jimmy John's to? And I think that they should do the same thing with Papa John's. Mm-hmm. Is Jimmy Shacks, and Papa John should be Papa Shacks. We've talked about it.
Get involved. Yeah, we talked about Papa John's rebranding as Papa Shacks, which I think would be a smart move.
Papa Shacks would be great. They should call it Papa Shacks.
Cousin of Shake Shack.
A cousin of Shake Shack.
How often do you guys think about that? The former CEO of Papa John's, him talking about eating pizza. I've eaten pizza every day for the last 40 days. That video, I think about it so often. It comes to me many times a day. I'll just hear it.
So I have a question about that video.
Yeah.
There's a version where his voice is slowed down, or does his voice sound gross? Like, what is happening in that
I think
video?
that's what his voice sounds like.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
His voice just got all fucked up?
He sounds, right. Like, no, I think we are familiar with the commercial voice, but in reality, he's like a Dick Tracy villain who sounds like that.
They dub him in the commercials to not sound like
exactly. Yeah, it's hell. It's hell to film these things.
I remember
He
when
refuses to actually say the word, so he's just mouthing.
They put pizza sauce in his mouth. So he'll just move.
The man hates
Like
to act.
Mr. Ed.
I think it was when Peyton Manning won Super Bowl, either with the Colts or maybe it was the Broncos, and Papa John came out into the fucking field with him. Yeah, it's fucking sucked.
Yeah, it's gross.
I was sad to see Peyton Manning win the Super Bowl, and then also at the same time I hated that Papa John was with him. And then that's trumped though by Jimmy Fallon running out onto the field when the Red Sox won the World Series for the first time
To shoot fever pitch.
to shoot the end of Fever Pitch.
Yeah.
Which, what a fucking... I remember being so happy, like being like, yeah, we won. And then like looking up at the screen and being like, huh?
Jimmy Fallon,
Jimmy
and Drew
Fallon is
Barrymore.
out there? What is Jimmy Fallon doing here? That sucks.
Again, like that was like, what? That was mid 2000s. When was that?
Yeah, the
That
douchey,
same era we were talking about earlier.
2004.
Very douchey time in American culture. Well, we should get to our final thoughts on Chipotle. So we will each
Wait,
go
Alan,
around.
did we hear from Alan?
Yeah, we heard from Alan. Alan talked about
Okay.
his bowl. You got the same
that's right.
same order as usual. Yes.
Yeah, I actually just remembered an old thing from Chipotle that I don't know if it's still... Do you guys ever have the quesarito?
Yes. I don't know if they
We tried
make
one
that
once.
anymore. I've had that before.
I just remember
tried
that
it
as the
once.
most disgusting, wonderful thing in the world, and how that never caught on. It's a burrito made out of a quesadilla, and it was incredible.
Yeah, it's vile and delicious, and I think it was one of those things where they got spooked by their own secret menu, and a lot of that stuff they just won't even make for you anymore.
Yeah.
If you're requesting, they'll just be like, we don't do that.
It was too messy, and now Taco Bell is just taking over the quesarito. They stole it. It's theirs.
Yeah.
They have it now.
So for our final thoughts, we'll each take a second and give a summation of our evaluation of Chipotle, and then finish by giving a fork score from 0 to 5 forks. That will be our final verdict on this chain. Our guests usually go first. Alan, let's begin with you.
Chipotle is a staple. It is part of everyday life. You pass it, you know what you're going to get. I like a place that doesn't have a menu with numbers. Now, I'll give me a number 1, number 3. I like a place that trusts me and really has the confidence that whatever I choose is going to be a good meal. And that's what I look for in a restaurant, really.
I thought we were reviewing it and not doing a sappy commercial for it.
I'm proposing to Chipotle. Let me have this moment. No, it is something that I truly feel like you can't go wrong. As someone with a lot of bullshit dietary restrictions, and by bullshit I mean it sucks, not that they're fake. I should clarify that. I have the paperwork. I like that I can eat anything there and not worry about dying or shitting my pants for 12 hours. Though, if you eat too many beans, you will probably shit your pants for a while at Chipotle. This is what happens. It was inspirational and fun, and then Castle threw me off, and now I'm talking about crapping my pants. Chipotle for me is 4.5 forks. It's you
4.5 forks.
Yeah.
Wow. Very high score. Mike Castle,
too
go
high.
ahead.
I would say Chipotle, obviously not a staple for me. I walk by it and I quicken my pace a little bit, I would say, typically. And, while I deserve some hate and I'll take some online bullying for my mess up with my order. I blame them. I blame democracy, and I blame Chipotle for letting it be too democratic for me. I want them to tell me what I want. So I'm going to give it 2 forks.
2 forks.
Yeah.
All right, Spoonman, what do you think?
I'm kind of with Mike. I think that it is his right as a citizen of the United States to blame the company instead of himself for what happened. And Alan, I'm the opposite of you in that I don't trust myself. I don't want to I'm going to fuck this up. If I have to do this, I'm going to fuck it up. I'm not a burrito creator. I don't make meals. Nick, you're right. Look, it's not as big of a problem there. The customization is not as big of a problem. It's consistency, like I said.
Yes.
And today I got fucking something that was cooked on those Cold Stone fucking ice slabs. It was cold, and it was served to me within 23 minutes. And I've had Chipotle that's been sitting around longer than 23 minutes. Truly,
yes.
23 minutes. And going into this, I wanted this to be a 3.5 fork place because I was like, you know what you're getting there. You're getting a bowl. It's like a Subway, but it's actually kind of tastier than a Subway. It can be healthy enough. Not that I'm saying it's healthy, but a burrito bowl's not that bad with some protein and a little bit of rice and some veggies or whatever. But it's not, Nick. It's just the consistency for me is, and that's not just today. It's all. This is always the case. And I think that I think it's a sort of thing that it's fun to toss in more rice and stuff like that, but you always get uneven. You can get a burrito that's just filled with rice. You know this happens. You can get a bowl that doesn't have enough protein. You know what I mean? Things like that just happen. And I think that they need to figure that out. I know that it's right now it's difficult times for delivery, and those people who are working there are essential workers. They're heroes. But it's not getting the 3.5 forks for me, and I don't even know if it's going to get 3 forks. It needs to be. It needs to take what McDonald's. It needs to have that. It needs to be consistent like that. It needs it. So I'm going to go 2.9 forks, Nick.
2.9 forks, 2 standard forks, 1 10-pronged fork, with 9 of them activated.
That's right.
Wow.
9 activated.
I am going to. I feel like what's going to happen here, Mitch, is that we may be, and I don't know if we have a stair step club, a ladder club? Do we have some sort of club?
Yeah, we did do that at one point, yes.
I'm trying to remember what it was exactly, because I feel like my score is going to land a little bit south of Allen's, but north of your guys's. I will say I like the app. I think the app is pretty easy.
You're saying the Chipotle app.
The Chipotle app.
I
like the Chipotle
Postmates, which I maybe I blame Postmates.
That may be the issue. I think if you use the Chipotle proper app, you can't make that kind of mistake. I think that I will say that this is one thing in Chipotle's favor. And when we're looking for a chain to review, both of you guys have restrictive diets that we've touched on, and Chipotle is a place that can accommodate that. A lot of fast food places cannot do that. A lot of fast food places, it's like, what, I'm going to have a bun, I'm going to have,
a
just
grilled cheese.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have something that's not particularly satisfying. That's maybe not even a meal to try to if you're gonna try to eat vegetarian or eat gluten free. So you can accommodate that at Chipotle pretty well, and I think their veggie options are decent. My veggie burrito I enjoyed. I'd rather have one from like a good local Mexican spot, but thinking of it as a chain restaurant, it's pretty good. The guacamole is very good. I really legit like their guac. I don't like their chips because I think they just have that hint of lime. I like that they're warm, but that hint of lime always tastes artificial to me. Although I do really like their guac. I got myself a grapefruit Izzy, which is like their grapefruit soda they have there, which I had this for dinner, so I made it into a Paloma with a little bit of Casamigos. Threw a little tequila in there, and that was a treat.
Oh, look at that.
I'm going to say this gets 3.25 forks. 3 forks, 1 tine, and a conventional 4-tined forks. That's where I think Chipotle lands. It's a little bit above average, and I think it can improve a little bit more if they up their consistency.
The consideration you're making about the availability, the options, available. I agree with that. Actually, it's a good point about one of their benefits. It's nice when you go to a place and you go, I can definitely eat something here.
100%. Yeah. And hey, that is an asset of Chipotle. And hey, that's our verdict on Chipotle. It's time for a segment. Mitch has a foodstuff that he is going to taste test solo. It's another edition of Spoonman's Treat or Skeet. Mitch does not have the item prepared, so he is standing up to go over and...
That's not really fair because it's a refrigerated item.
Okay, it is a refrigerated item. We're going to find out what he's going to whip up here.
Whip out. You almost said whip out.
I almost did say whip out, and then I also said whip up, which also didn't make sense.
Yeah, but
Because
then
you're not
because you
preparing
initially
anything.
said the out, it felt like you were describing the dick coming out and then whipping it up as well. it became extremely. It was moving. It was not. I hated it.
This thing's not
All right.
whipping anywhere. All right, Nick. Today I got Twix chocolate milk.
Wow.
And Nick,
That looks intense.
We've never chocolate low-fat milk Twix flavored. Nick, we've never really discussed what we did. It's a treat or Skeet. What would this be?
Oh, we need a drink equivalent.
It's a drink equivalent.
So drink or stank is our normal one, but that involves everyone taste testing. If it's solo,
Yeah,
sip or ship.
yeah, I
Like
like
you're
it.
gonna
Sip
sip
or
it,
shit.
or you're gonna ship it off.
I love it.
Okay,
How about sip or shit?
sip or shit. Right.
I'm gonna pour.
Yeah, it's easier because
I-
it's more confusing to say.
I'm gonna say if I don't like it, I'll pour the rest of it down the toilet.
Great. Is this going in your mouth or in the toilet? Skipping
Yeah.
the middleman. Let's find
Irma's,
out.
Irma's up on the table. She must be interested in this. All right, Twix chocolate milk. You guys can think. You guys can discuss what you think.
It's gonna be rich. It's gonna be real rich.
I'm just curious what Twix flavor means exactly. If that means like
Yeah.
it's kind of a caramel chocolate.
I'm taking a little sniff of it right now. It smells
my
like a
God.
Twix candy bar.
Wow.
Irma is meowing. She's coming up to the Twix chocolate milk. She's interested in it for some reason.
We saw her on camera briefly.
It
Are
smells
Alan or-
very. It smells very much like a Twix candy bar. It's very strange.
It feels
Alan
like
and
it
Mike
would, it would say on the bottle, "Good for cats."
Yeah, they should let you know if that's cat safe. Are either of you guys big candy guys? Do you like a sweet treat?
Occasionally, not when I'm home, but I feel like if I'm like ever traveling,
Yes.
like a candy bar calls out to me significantly more. Especially if you're in a foreign country, I feel like somehow like a Snickers feels more like sustaining to me or something.
Yeah. Alan candy?
Snickers is one of the best candy bars ever.
It's unbelievable. It's so
Top,
good.
top tier candy.
I'm a big Starburst Skittles guy, and since the quarantine, I have had conservatively 10 plus pounds of the.
Wow.
Wow.
It is I ordered groceries the other day and got a 3-pound bag of Starburst, and that was last Monday, and they're gone.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
those are all gone.
Yeah, those are the two
That's
that
impressive.
I'm real hooked on.
I just want to show. I just want to
Yeah.
show that there's like Twix bars like being enveloped by like a chocolatey milk here on the bottle, Nick.
Yeah, we're kind of getting their origin story here.
Wait, what
Yeah.
is it? Is that
Oh,
like
it looks like Pompeii.
like a beaker?
Yeah, it does look
It's-
like is it a beaker or a volcano?
I can't. What what they're in? I don't know. It's just it's like when the Joker fell into the acid. Basically, it looks like to me.
Thinking back on the original Tim Burton Batman, that's
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
reference is.
Or maybe the T2 falling into the molten lava or whatever the fuck it was.
They need to
All right,
bring
here we go.
back the Joker falling in acid. Like in the
Yeah.
recent ones, it's just been like he's wearing makeup and fine. But give me the acid guy. That
Doesn't
was
he
fun.
fall in Suicide Squad? Doesn't he leap into acid? Am I making that up?
I think he's just is the Joker at the start of that. From what I've only saw it
Yeah,
once.
he's
might-
like
they may be-
already
they
in
may-
jail, isn't he, or something?
Yeah, I think he's already the Joker.
I think Harley Quinn maybe falls into acid.
She does.
anymore.
Okay.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Can I say this is not really related to anything, but this is a little bit about candy. I want to tell you guys this one thing I used to love to make when I was a teenager. It was like my take on a classic candy. So I will get crushed up ice, all right, and I would put it inside. All right, you open up a fruit roll up, and you remove all the stuff. You put the ice right in the center. You wrap it up like a little ball, all right, so that the ice is inside of the fruit roll up, and then you just keep that in your mouth. And occasionally, slowly but surely, you are biting into it as the fruit roll-up starts to get like frozen, and it becomes kind of like crunchy, and it's so that's all.
The fuck?
That is wild.
Yeah,
That is a wild thing you just described.
I'm just thinking, look, we're all home. You know, we're wanting to try some stuff out. This is a thing I started doing when I was like 16. I was like, this is what it's all about.
16?
Well, I mean, that was when I first smoked weed.
Okay.
And so,
all right.
It occurred
It's
to
also
me.
the only podcast you can tell that story on, and it's semi-relevant. We did Ira Glass
That's
last
why I
week, and it
jumped
just
at
didn't
the
play.
opportunity. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Twix. I'm trying it, Nick.
You still haven't taken a sip yet?
That's fucked up. I thought he'd had it already.
I love that we have 2 video angles on this.
Oh man.
Definitely give reaction to the other camera.
Oh man. This is bad. This is for sure bad.
Wow.
Go any other way.
Bad in what specific way?
The caramel taste of it makes it taste like kind of like old coffee that's been sitting around.
Ugh.
It's fucking bad. This is bad.
So it's a
Wow.
shit.
Yeah, it's a shit.
He's still drinking it.
Yeah.
I'll drink the whole bottle for science sake.
It
is
really
weird
does seem like a Dunkin' Donuts thing.
There is a creaminess to it that makes me keep coming back to it. Like
Yeah.
I want to take another sip of it. But the man, that like caramel and like whatever chemicals they use to like kind of make it taste like that caramel, and you can taste like the wafer part of the bar a little bit. It just is. This is Nick. This is going down the toilet. This is.
Oh, they tried to get the wafer flavor in there?
There's a wafer
You want to
flavor,
skip
yeah.
that. You want to skip
Ugh.
that part.
Yeah, that's gross.
That seems like it's like one of those decisions that's so bad it clearly comes down to one person. You know, like
Yes.
they were like, we got the flavor completely, and he's like, what's the consistency? Does it feel like there's little wafers in there? And they said no, and he's like, we're gonna need that.
Yeah, someone on the Twix board gave that note, and they're like, I mean, we can do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I think you should.
He's one of those guys who just likes to give a note, and then just after he hears himself say it, he's like, you have to do that now. You have.
Yeah, has to feel like he has ownership over this somehow.
Sounds like Hollywood in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm pulling from.
There, you know what I'll say? I'll say this: there is like a creamy chocolate milk flavor to it that is tasty, and then it just is overcome by this kind of caramel cookie Twixy taste that's not good.
You'd rather just have chocolate milk, right?
You'd rather have, and there is some version of chocolate milk in this because I think it is. I think it's a Nesquik product. I think it is. Well, maybe not, but it tastes like kind of like Nesquik.
If it isn't, it's definitely openly infringing on some Nesquik copyright shit.
This just strikes me as one of those things where if you'd rather have the normal thing, if you'd rather just have chocolate milk instead of then that's Ungapachka. They threw too much stuff in there.
That is, now it's too many. Now it's too many.
It's too many.
Hey,
I can just
that
picture
was-
myself. I can picture myself strangling you, and you're just as I'm strangling you, you just keep saying "Ungapachka."
It sounds like sounds that you would eke out as you're being strangled for sure.
"Ungapachka," like you would, and it would be you'd be rubbing it in my face as I was fucking crushing your neck.
Oh, I thought you were saying that it's just the sounds of that action of you strangling Nick would make.
No. That too. I like that too. This word.
Yeah.
You love this word.
It's a useful word. Hey, that was Spoonman's Sip or Shit, our new segment. Just like a restaurant, we value your feedback. Let's open
you know
up
what?
the feedback.
Sip or ship to keep it clean.
Sip or ship. So it's a proper rhyme, not a near rhyme. If you're going to sip it, you're going to ship it off. Mitch is going to ship this one off, even though it seems like you drank about 80% of the bottle. Just like a restaurant, we value your feedback. Let's open the feedback. And hey, we've got a voicemail today. Let's go ahead and hear this. I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Is that 80% of the bottle?
Come on, Mitch. Let it go.
Oh, boy. Mitch took the label off to prove that most of it is still in there. All right, fine. I stand corrected. Let's listen to this voicemail.
Hi, Doughboys. This is Amanda from the Bay Area. I was curious what proportion of chain restaurants you have a regular standing order at versus restaurants where you'll mix it up every time. So, for example, I always get the same thing at Chipotle and at Subway every single time. But at like a McDonald's or a Taco Bell, I always make a decision about what I'm in the mood for when I get to the restaurant. Thanks. Bye.
So, Alan, you already touched on that you have a regular order at Chipotle. Are there any other chains you have a regular standing order at?
Yeah, pretty much every spot that I go to, I like I said, I'm a robot with food, and I find a thing that I like, and like end of list. Like I'm done. I don't need to experiment. I like the consistency and just knowing that like I get the one thing, and it'll be fine.
What's another of your chain go-to orders?
I'm trying to think. Like, I've really changed all of my restaurants now with this new thing, which is a great answer to give on a food podcast. I think, like, at a burger spot, like, I will get the same thing on a burger pretty much anywhere I go. Mayo, pickles, lettuce, onion, bacon, cheese. That's, like, it doesn't matter if I'm at a burger spot where... What'd you say?
Mustard, onions, tomato, kale.
Just name the whole thing. Yeah, I like the simpleness and the consistency of it. Mike is still making fun of me, so I'm just going to talk over him.
You know what? This is a question I've had since we did the show. Do you guys like each other?
We do.
Oh, yeah. We're lovers. We're but it's, that brotherly way where any outward affection is immediately pushed back upon.
Right.
Did anything while we were shooting make you think that we didn't actually like each other?
No, not at all. I was just joking. I know that you love each other. And also,
I'm sorry that I answered it honestly.
I'm also jealous because I'm in a work relationship where I feel like one side doesn't really love the other side.
Oh, bud, you should really consider it. It's really wonderful to have like a partner who trusts
it's solid.
you.
It's really nice.
It's
a good feeling for sure.
Yeah, no, we actively dislike each other. I think that's our magic.
No, I know. That's what makes listening to it so electric. I feel that the first time I listened to an episode and Mitch was saying something and I think I rolled my eyes and then he called you out for rolling your eyes and I was like, yes, so great.
Castle, do you not eat at
Alan,
chains
you're the Mitch of the podcast, I guess, which is a good thing, by the way.
I'll take it. I don't know what Unga Pachka means, so I'm with you.
And you know what? Nick didn't either until a few months ago.
And it shows in how much he uses it.
I love the information.
When I started, when I became vegetarian, it was like immediately everything in my diet changed because I grew up right off a big street in Chicago where it was like all these fucking Taco Bell, KFC, McDonald's, all that shit. And so when I became vegetarian, it was like I suddenly can't go to any of those places, And so now it's 13 or 14 years later, and the places are all starting to get, like the Impossible Burger and all that shit. But it's like I don't even have the instinct to go there anymore. But I'm like a major frequenter of like all these local places in my neighborhood. Like I go to this one dumpling place 4 times a week, order the same thing all the time. Every time I walk in there, the guy knows my name, but is like not friendly to me. It's great. It's my dream.
I used to have a deli in the city that I would walk in, and the guy behind the counter started making my sandwich, and that went on for about 4 or 5 years where we never spoke.
I'm pretty I have like an apologist instinct with it. Like I feel embarrassed. Like every time that I would walk there, now I'm like, you did everything right now that I can't leave the house anymore. But there would be a lot. I would start to feel this real like big shame right before I'd walk in, where I'd be like, oh my God, they know I was here yesterday and I got the exact same fucking thing and I'm gonna get it again today.
Man, what a feeling that there just is missing right now. Just someone just knowing your order.
Yeah.
Boy, what a nice, just a small like little return to normalcy that will feel like so gratifying is like, that regular bartender, that regular regular waiter. God, what a fucking treat that'll be. Mitch, you are holding one of your cats right now.
Nick.
Wiger, guess which one it is.
It's got to be Irma.
No.
You're such a piece of shit.
Now I think you do it on purpose so you say the wrong one.
That's not Irma? She was just on the table.
Wally.
Oh, okay. Hi, Wally.
He's got the white
Wally's
stripe
the
down
boy.
his face. White
big
stripe
white
down
his
his
nose.
face.
Okay, white stripe for Wally. I'll remember.
I'm going to fucking drive to whatever city you move to and I'm going to find you. I swear to God.
The inside Wiger's head follow-up to I'll remember was, and then I'll intentionally not say it.
I sadly think about what I'm going to order besides the restaurant where I'm going down to sit at, and even still then I'll look at the menu. But if like I'm with a group of people and then we decide to go to a restaurant and just sit down and eat, that's like maybe the only time that I'm not looking at the menu or thinking about it. Like if I'm gonna go get myself some Taco Bell, I'm like, I think I'm gonna get this tonight, and I think about it at least an hour or so before I do it. Always, Nick. There's not a time that I don't think about it.
No, we're on the same page here, but I do start thinking well in advance, and I'll sometimes even practice like my order. Like I'll be like, okay, I got to make sure that I get this right, especially if I have to order over the phone, which I hate doing.
Yes, this is more of a thing that you can't talk to human beings.
Yeah, so I have to I have to warm up to it a little bit. But
did you do a thing that's like, hello, sir or madam, I would like to order.
Yeah, and then quickly he's like, not madam, no.
To answer the question from Amanda, the standing order for me, my go-to, I mentioned it already, is two of my favorite chains, Del Taco, In-N-Out Burger. I just have a kind of a pretty straightforward go-to that I'll get most of the time. Some minor deviations, but I just pretty much have my thing. I know what I want. I want that I want that animal style double with chilies because I'm something of a heat seeker from In-N-Out Burger and fries. And if I'm gonna get a sweet treat, a vanilla shake. And then at Del Taco, my 2 Del Tacos, 2 half-pound mini cheese burritos with green sauce, and fries of some sort, often the deluxe chili cheese fries. That's usually my go-to. Sometimes I'll mix it up with a quesadilla. Sometimes I'll throw in that double Del burger, which is indulgent and delicious. But places I'll mix it up. For me, the answer is pizza. Pizza, I will tend to get just like different toppings. And Natalie and I'll talk through what we want, and sometimes we'll get something a little different. And I feel like it's always something a little bit different every time we order some za. Mitch, what about you? What are your consistent ones? What places where you mix it up?
I think that, like I said, I'm always thinking about it. So for me, like, it's probably a combination of the two. I'm like, I'm going to order pizza today at some point, but where am I going to get it from? And then that always determines about like kind of what style I'm going to get or what toppings I'm going to get. But like if I'm going to Taco Bell, I know I'm getting a cheesy gordita crunch no matter what. And so it's probably a combo of like my regulars and then a little room to experiment. Maybe I'll get this and I'll also get whatever the special is or whatever. They have a buffalo chicken burrito. All right, I'll try that. You know what I mean? Or
right.
if I'm getting Domino's, like, oh, maybe I'll do thin crust tonight, or maybe I'll do whatever. But like, oh, I kind of want to do like half cheese, half sausage and onion, or something like that. Like, I always kind of have an idea going into it. So,
can I say when I ate meat and frequented Taco Bell as a teenager, I loved the cheesy gordita crunch. It was like when I became vegetarian, I kid you not, it was the only thing I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking miss that so much. And
with beans,
get it with beans.
So I've heard, yeah, I didn't, I think I might do that. But it feels like it'll break a certain seal for me if I go through like a Taco Bell drive-through. It's been so many years.
I say it's a great time. Go. I think you should.
Right away, I picture just chugging some mild sauce, just to get it going before I eat something.
I do love the mild sauce. I used to be a hot sauce guy there, and I'm now a mild sauce guy. It doesn't hurt the stomach. Still has a pretty good taste. It's good.
Let us know if you have a standing order at chains or if you like to mix it up. Hashtag #StandMyBe or hashtag Sir Mix-a-Lot. Let us know. And hey, if you have a question or comment about the world of chain restaurants, you can email us at doughboyspodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 830-GO-DOUGH. That's 830-463-6844. To get the Doughboys Double, our weekly bonus episode, join the Golden or Platinum Plate Club at patreon.com/Doughboys.
So, poor Sir Mix-a-Lot is he's gonna be tagged in fucking a bunch of these shitty.
Well, I don't know if he name searches or searches for hashtags. I'm not asking asking people to at Sir Mix-a-Lot. Leave Sir Mix-a-Lot alone.
He's gonna see Sir Mix-a-Lot trending. He's gonna say, "What's happening?"
All right, fine. We'll make it food themed. Hashtag Stir Mix-a-Lot.
Wow, perfect.
Can I add just like a sub question that I think would be helpful?
Yes.
Just it's worth knowing. When you order, anyone who might answer this, when you order the same thing you always get, do you do it automatically or do you act it out like you're searching for it? Because sometimes I'll act like I'm thinking of it.
The search is the process. Yeah.
Yeah, you go like, well, let's see, you know what, no tomatoes, but I knew that going in I wasn't going to get tomatoes. But
or you'll add tomatoes and then scrap it.
No, that's the next level. You know what? Had too many tomatoes today. No tomatoes.
That is like an embarrassment factor, like the sort of thing if you order too much food in the fast food drive-thru and you're like on the phone being like, "What do you want?" Okay, yeah, and then also can I get that? That's like a next level embarrassing. I have done that before where I'm like, let me get and honestly, I think I am just thinking of I'm trying to think of what I should get besides that. For me, it's stalling.
Okay.
Where I'm like,
Yes.
I'm like, let me get let me see here. Cheesy Gordita Crunch. I knew that was coming. I knew I wanted the Cheesy Gordita Crunch, but
I
I'm
don't
also
wanna
trying to think
seem
of what
too
else I should get.
automatic. My fear is that they'll go like, "Oh, jeez, man, you're dying for that cheesy gordita, huh?" Like,
You can seem a little aggro if you don't have the. You can seem a little like aggressive, like I'm going to be like a difficult customer if
Right.
you have this very precise order that you just rattle off.
yeah, or like
versus-
ungrateful too. You can,
Yes,
right,
yeah. So I think
Well, I
having
say-
the rhythm
I
of
say-
a
I
normal
s-
order is helpful.
I always say, "Hey, how are you doing?" every time I'm at the thing, and which also can be a turnoff. Some people are like, "Good, what do you want to eat?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, shouldn't have said this. This is a mistake."
For me, it's a
also
fear of being judged by a stranger. Like if I order
Yes.
too quickly,
Yep.
I'm just looking for everyone to, validate me. So to not get it from the guy at In-N-Out is, really going to ruin my day.
Also, the acting of it, trying to find your order reminds
it's
me
a
of
performance.
I knew this guy in Chicago, and I like caught him doing something like that, but he didn't like know that, which was that he had on multiple occasions when we'd be in a grocery store looking to get like beer for after a show, he would be like, "Oh, Bud Light with lime? You want it? I would try that." But I'd actually had it with him multiple times before, and I was like, I just know he likes this. And then, like, after I clocked that, I remember, like, months later, we met up again, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to get a Bud Light. Actually, can I get I'm going to do a Bud Light lime." But it was always, like, I knew it was acting, because I was like, dude, you like that. You are acting like it's a discovery, but I know it's not.
And also, I got to say for that one, too, is, like, it is a gross one. So I almost understand...
Yeah.
Like Bud Light Lime is not that good. I don't think so.
You don't
so
want people
that
to think you like it, so
So,
But this
so you gotta
freak
act
fucking
like it's
loves it.
spontaneous.
yeah.
Castle, name this freak. Who is this freak?
I can't.
Nancy
He lives in
Pelosi.
LA. He lives in LA.
Hashtag stand by bean and hashtag stir mix a lot to make it food related.
Okay. Hashtag stand by bean. Hashtag stir mix a lot. Let us know.
But also, question: will Mr. Bean think the hashtag is about him?
Oh.
Yeah, if he
calling out
gets Me
Rowan
Too'd in
Atkinson.
the next week, and these are people who are like praising him.
That's a
That's
good
true.
point.
How about hashtag sandwich by bean?
Okay,
Great.
that makes the most sense.
That makes the most sense. That's the best one.
Perfect.
That's like making sure the wafer is in the Twix drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alan Eisenberg, Mike Castle, thank you guys so much for joining us. Check out Brews Brothers. It's streaming now on Netflix. Anything else you guys would like to plug?
Spoonman on Brews Brothers. He's very funny on it.
Oh man, thank you guys. You guys are both so funny and on the show and very talented guys and very funny offset as well. So it was fun working with you.
Your check is in the mail.
I was just gonna plug Zach Reno's Animal Crossing Island. I was just there earlier today, and it's amazing.
It's spectacular.
really good stuff.
It's really, really something.
Oh, and if you ever listens to this, Zach, I stole one flower from you, even though I told you I wasn't taking anything.
Wow.
I hope he listens and he shut it off like 30 seconds ago because he thought it was the end of the
They
podcast.
all love my island.
That'll do it for this week's Doughboys. Until next time, for the Spoonman, Mike Mitchell, I'm Nick Wiger. Happy eating.
See ya.
On the next Doughboys Double. Yeehaw, it's Tombstone Week. Griffin Newman and David Sims of Blank Check Podcast joined to review Tombstone, the movie starring Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer. Then they return on Thursday to review Tombstone, the pizza. Be our Huckleberry and subscribe to the Doughboys Double. New episodes every Tuesday only at patreon.com/doughboys. That's patreon.com/doughboys. Want to see the sources for this week's intro? Check the episode description.
That was a HeadGum podcast.